Narcissism and emotional independence, the paradox of self-reliance. Emotional independence, the ability to regulate emotions and maintain a stable sense of self, is a key aspect of psychological well-being. For narcissistic individuals, emotional independence presents a paradox. While they project an image of self-sufficiency, they often rely heavily on external validation to sustain their self-esteem. This reliance, coupled with a need for control and a fear of vulnerability, creates a complex dynamic that influences their behavior and relationships. This article explores how narcissism impacts emotional independence, the challenges it creates, and strategies for fostering healthier emotional regulation. The psychological roots of emotional dependence in narcissism. Narcissistic individuals struggle with emotional independence due to the interplay of several psychological factors. 1. Fragile self-esteem. Beneath their outward confidence lies a deep insecurity that drives their need for external validation. 2. Fear of rejection. Vulnerability is perceived as a threat, leading them to avoid situations that could expose emotional weaknesses. 3. Validation-seeking behavior. Their sense of self-worth often depends on praise and recognition from others. 4. Control as a defense mechanism. By controlling their environment and relationships, they attempt to shield themselves from emotional uncertainty. How narcissism manifests in emotional independence. The tension between their need for validation and their desire to appear self-reliant leads to distinct behaviors. Projection of self-sufficiency. Dismissive attitude, minimizing the importance of emotional support to maintain the illusion of independence. Overconfidence, displaying exaggerated self-assurance to mask insecurities. Reliance on external validation. Constant feedback seeking, depending on praise or admiration to regulate emotions and reinforce self-esteem. Intolerance of criticism, reacting defensively to feedback that challenges their self-image. Emotional avoidance. Suppression of vulnerability, avoiding introspection or genuine emotional expression to maintain control. Avoidance of close connections, keeping relationships superficial to reduce the risk of emotional exposure. The impact of emotional dependence. The lack of true emotional independence has significant consequences for narcissistic individuals and their relationships. 1. Emotional instability. Over-reliance on external validation creates highs and lows tied to others' reactions. 2. Relationship strain. Partners and loved ones may feel unvalued or emotionally neglected. 3. Limited self-awareness. Avoiding vulnerability hinders personal growth and self-discovery. 4. Burnout. The constant effort to maintain control and seek validation leads to emotional exhaustion. Strategies for building emotional independence. Developing emotional independence requires self-awareness, vulnerability, and intentional effort. For narcissistic individuals. 1. Cultivate self-awareness. Reflect on emotional triggers and the motivations behind validation-seeking behaviors. 2. Embrace vulnerability. Practice opening up in safe, trusted relationships to build emotional resilience. 3. Focus on internal validation. Shift attention from external approval to personal values and accomplishments. 4. Practice mindfulness. Use mindfulness techniques to remain present and reduce emotional reactivity. 5. Seek therapy. Professional guidance can help explore underlying insecurities and develop healthier emotional habits. For loved ones and colleagues. 1. Provide balanced support, offer encouragement while promoting self-reliance. 2. Model healthy emotional behavior, demonstrate emotional independence and vulnerability in your own actions. 3. Set clear boundaries, protect your well-being by defining and maintaining emotional limits. 4. Encourage self-reflection, gently prompt narcissistic individuals to explore their emotions and behaviors. Cultivating a healthy balance. For narcissistic individuals, achieving emotional independence involves striking a balance between self-reliance and meaningful connections. Redefine strength, recognize vulnerability and emotion openness as signs of strength, not weakness. Invest in authentic relationships, build connections based on mutual trust and emotional reciprocity. Prioritize emotional growth, focus on developing self-awareness, empathy, and emotional regulation skills. Celebrate progress, acknowledge small victories in fostering emotional independence and resilience. Conclusion. Emotional independence is a complex challenge for narcissistic individuals, whose reliance on external validation often conflicts with their desire for self-sufficiency. By addressing the underlying fears and insecurities driving their behavior, they can develop the tools needed to achieve greater emotional balance and build healthier relationships. For those engaging with narcissists, understanding their struggles and promoting supportive yet firm boundaries can help foster positive change.